I'm gonna start over. I just had a funny run-in with myself. Uh, Kim from Kim's Basement, or as Rory would call it, Baseman in the Basement. And one of these days, I'm going to get better lighting, get better camera, get better sound, get better. I'm gonna get better. I swear I'm gonna get better. But for now, I just want to keep going with this little Patch 2000 videos. And so I have a couple out that talked about the bass, the pedal, the synth, the hookup, all of which, there is this great, you have to see the 1977 or 78 video on the Patch 2000. There's only one real video, and it was, I think, the original demo. And the guy's wearing the really big platform shoes, and he looks like Jan Ackerman, and he's a I think an American in Sweden, and so it's a classic video, and it's up on the link. The other thing is, where did I put in the case that the pedal comes in is a reproduction of the original manual. So these things, you can still get a lot of info. You can't get a lot of info. You can't get crap for info on this thing because it's a very rare piece. It turns out that they only made 509 of these pedals, or rather, they made 509 Patch 2000. So I'm imagining that they made one pedal per unit. They only made 200 Swede basses, and they made 75 Scan Patch 2000 basses, and 509 pedals, which is remarkably few. I don't know how many are left, but I have one, and here it is, and it's like brand new. It was new old stock. Thing is impeccable. It's not beaten, or it's completely workable. So I'm gonna now pull the thing up and play around with some tones. So here's the bass. Stepping on the chord. Here's the bass. In the back of that plate is an amazing circuit board. It's just, this thing is like a little computer inside, which is so cool considering it's from, the 70s. Oh! And the cool thing about it is, you can play it like a regular bass. I'm in tune. It's got, so it's like a regular bass. That's cool. I like this. But this is a special bridge. The tailpiece is wired to that circuit board in the back. So the bridge it has some special saddles on it. And what ends up happening is each fret on the neck is wired. I've never taken the neck off of this bass. Somewhere along the line there's going to be a big wire cable, because every fret of this neck is wired to the circuit board that goes to the tailpiece. So when you hit down the string, see, it's not doing anything. But when I hit that doesn't sound the same. It's so weird. Somebody's going to love this thing. They're going to know exactly what to do with it. For me, I like playing with it, but there's an application for this bass that's going to be stellar. So you can play. I got two amplifiers. One's for the bass, and one's for the synth. So just guitar, just synth, and both. You got to figure out what you're going to do with this thing, and match it to a tone, because it's kind of weird. And by the way, you do tune it. There's an oscillator. I'm going to play an F, and here's the tuning. So you tune your oscillator and the synth to the note, and so now you're in tune with the bass. Sometimes it's not in. It does weird things. It doesn't sound like a C. It isn't. So depending on what you've got here, it can oscillate. It can change the pitch on you. You got to fool with it. The pedal also has a pitch control. So let me get a different tone going here. That one's getting annoying. So I'm going to dial it up. That's the pitch control, which is like a pedal down here. It says pitch on it. So it's got the pedal has two things. It's got the pitch, one full octave on the full throw of the pitch, and then it's got what's called a fifth. So now I can go. That's a stomp pedal, full octave, and then so you can go really low, just hitting that one note. That's all with the pedal. So you get a bunch of octave changes. As you start getting low, you can get some, evil low stuff. So I usually play with the pitch all the way up and the fifth all the way up. Get a little bit more definition in the tone. Then video keeps going dark on me. Then there's a glide switch, and the glide pedal is really weird because the glide pedal is glissando, so you get this. I have the glide all the way off. I'm going to turn the glide all the way on, so it's. So without that, it's just more. So I usually have the glide off too, but it's kind of cool. I mean, these are things that you got to find the tone that you want, and then figure out how you're playing it's like playing a keyboard while you're playing the bass. So, again, so many different presets just on this little Roland synth. There's a bank that gives you 128 of your own presets. I've only keyed in 40 of them. And then there's 3 more banks of 128. So there's like way too many. For bass, for guitar and keyboard, it would be, or voice, or any of these other things. It might be more versatile. I haven't really found a whole lot of tones that are conducive to what I do. So I'm just going to fool around. I wrote down a couple. So there's another. This one has a weird delay or something about it, so you have to know what the tone's going to do before you can, you can write it down as part of a recording you're making. See, it doesn't. You got to really key that one in to get the synth while you're playing. Pretty cool though. That was 9. I got 30, and some of them are just so weird. It's got its own echo. It throws it into its own pitch. That's not the. Funny. I mean, you'd have to almost write down that this is going down at like a minor third or something. Sometimes you'll just let it have its mind of its own and play with it. I don't know. I think you could spend a lot of time, a lot of fun time with these tones. I got 39 written down here. It's 39. 39. I don't know. It's going to take me a while to figure out. 38. You got to just play with it. Some of these presets on the unit are even weirder. That's one that you couldn't even play bass over, I So, those are ones that I didn't. I mean, how do you fit that into anything with a bass? I don't know. Here's his pick. Weird. Heavy metal. Go down beat. Those ones with the delays, you can't really do much with because you got to trigger. Each one doesn't trigger right. If you just sustain it, you can get some effect. Get that glide going. Not really. It doesn't. That wasn't even working with the glissando. So you play around with it and see what. Frogs, Toads of the Short Forest. I don't know. I mean, you'd have to. That's why I usually use my own ones that I put in. That's got a glide on its own. So that's not with the pedal doing the glide. I'm going to put the glide all the way up. I get double glide. Oh no, maybe. A lot of glide, yeah. Turn the glide off. Still on. Anyway, so you know, the thing works as far the thing works as far as you know. I'm gonna have to play around with it and find the the patches that I like, and maybe I'll come up with a tune or something. That's like a chalkboard. I don't know. It's going to take some fooling around. That's kind of a cool so something like that will work for a tune you can write. So I'll fool around with it, but I just wanted to show you how kind of intensely weird it is to have an onboard computer, and you can turn it off. I've noticed that when I turn this off, I'm going to turn it off. So now it's not on. Now when I go to turn it on, it doesn't come right back on. It takes a while to warm up again, the circuitry. So that's kind of annoying if you wanted to turn it off. What I would suggest, if you're gigging with it and you turn it off and it doesn't come right back on, which it's not right now. That's happened to me like every time, that when I turn it off, it takes a while for it to come back on just by flicking the switch. This time it's taken a really long time. So what I would do is put a volume pedal on the synth so that you could just turn the volume off on it, and then just hit it with a. Of course, I sold my really nice volume pedal because I never used it. I got another pedal. I can get that hooked up. So anyway, that's a little taste of this Patch 2000, some sounds, and I'll come back with maybe a tune or something and play it. Good. Thanks a lot. I'll catch you later.